So I think Stacy's here probably to sit through this with your presentation of, why don't we start off with you guys going? That way she can.
I'm just here to watch.
All right,
Can I, Jeff, is my other news first?
of course
Before
you
we start
can.
with that?
Of
Definitely.
course you can, high maintenance.
High maintenance. So at the board's request, I met with John and Dwayne and Kim, and they submitted a budget adjustment for reduction in revenues and expenditures of $138,000. $138,843, which takes the 600,000 down to 461,157. And then I met with Lori Phelps today, and we are submitting the CDBG grant to bring in an additional 156,445 into the revenues.
What can that be spent on?
It's money that we've already spent.
Yeah, so it's 166 what?
156,445. It's funds we've already spent. So
That's
it would,
coming back to us.
it would be money that's coming back to
In the
us.
general fund.
Yes,
Yeah. So that
Which-
our deficit.
which would take us down to 304,712.
I wish the sheriff was going to be here.
I think Dwayne was gonna be on.
Dwayne, are you on? No, he's there. Dwayne,
Hi, everyone. I'm on.
hey, can you give us an update on the sheriff's department email you sent out regarding the federal inmates?
Yes, we got some good news. We received 10 of them last night, and we spoke with them again today. We're scheduled for another 10. They were hoping next week, but now they won't be able to be here until the 18th. Because as they come in, we still have to quarantine them for 10 days. So I have a plan. I've spoken with Jenny recently, and I'm actually looking at an Excel spreadsheet. Things may be looking up for us here soon, everyone.
Okay,
Thank you.
so
Well-
Dwayne,
Yes.
your rough guesstimate, are these federal persons in for about what, 6 months on average?
Oh, they'll be here even longer than that sometimes. The ones we're getting should be here through September, so that will definitely help. I had conversation with them on that. The key is gonna be how many we get, how soon. I'm hoping to take batches of 10 every quarantine period, so it's basically every 10 days. Anything we can take, we told them we would take after quarantine. The thing I have to watch is, the timing for you guys, when I can have them and how much we'll make. Now, sometimes they may only send 5. So, we'll kind of be playing it by ear. I watch it week to week. Jenny and I will watch it with Tracy every month. So we just kind of have to see how it goes, but it's definitely looking better.
It sure is. Guesstimate 10 federal inmates through, what'd you say, Jeff, 8 months we've got?
September.
It'll be through September on the 10, but if that's the case, then we'll have 20 through September, possibly 30, because you got 20 committed right now for sure.
And our contract is 50 males and 5 females. Sometimes they'll send us 55 males. Sometimes we've been up to, as Jenny and Tracy know, 65, 68. So I told them we will take whatever you can. And then I have to be careful to meet with our local courts and prosecutor and say, do you know where you're going when you're starting up? Because we have to leave room for them as well.
Right, but do we have 20 committed for sure?
Oh, we have 20 for sure. We already had
Okay.
18. We already had 18. We got 10 last night. We've got another 10 coming on the 18th.
Okay,
That'll put us at 38 at $67.50 per head per day.
okay, so 20 inmates through September, we're looking at how much?
20 through September. The way it'll work,
It's 38,000 a month or 36,000 a month. So
Okay.
it's
for
based on how
the 20
many days
there, we're talking for the 20.
you had 240 days left for this fiscal year by the end of September 30th. But the key is if something goes wrong
Right,
on their transport schedule or not. So until I actually have them, but as of February 18th, we should have 38 That's 2 weeks out. We have 240 days left. We're gonna lose 16 days. So you're talking 224 days at 38 times 67.50 a day.
Times 67.50. So what's that total? You
Oh,
got your calculator?
yeah, let me,
Okay, 67.50
Yep,
times.
224.
the way it equates, 38 for the rest of the fiscal
224.
year,
8 inmates.
Yeah,
615, 600.
What'd you just say, Dwayne?
It'll equate. I have it formulated, Trace. Don't waste your time.
Okay.
615, 600. You look at January's not accrued. So basically what'll happen, Cheryl will let Jenny's office and Tracy know we're averaging about 50 grand a month right now, a little more, a little less the first 3 months, October, November, December. So we bring another 50 with our current ratio. We had 18. That puts us at about 200 revenue to date. If we can pull off this 615, 600, you're going to be at about 815, 600. I'm hoping for more, guys, but that's a pretty realistic number right there.
815, 600, that's 8,000,
815 to 915.
815,000. Okay.
What were they budgeted? What was in your budget? When we cut back the 600,000, what was in the, you thought you'd bring in? How much did that cut out of that?
We were scaled at 1.23500.
So
basically 235.
you knock 600, that's 600, and then you're bringing in 8, so that cuts another 200,000 approximately out of that. So at the 304, 712, we could only be $100,000 in the hole right now instead of 600,000 as of last week.
And
you
again,
may get more
guys,
inmates.
I can't commit. People have no idea what it takes to get 20 of them in 2 days.
Right.
It's looking good. I would think things are going to be promising, but I wouldn't dare want to commit beyond what I can control. You know what I mean?
Sure, sure.
Understand.
You too.
One thing is in the budget, it's set at 1.2 now. So if he's guessing it's around 8, that revenue should probably be reduced to the 8 or 900,000. That would make it easier to follow. I think Tracy's budget adjustment, I don't think it's in the system yet. Will reduce it 138,000. So whatever that difference would be.
Got that, Trace?
Yep, that would take it, hang on a second. We got, we got 1 million.
I'm sorry, guys, my phone's a little difficult. So if you have a hard time hearing me when I do.
Taking the $138,000 takes it down to 1,083,000.
Okay. Okay,
And if you're gonna take it down to 8 or 9, I don't know what you wanna look at, you're looking at 1 or 200,000.
well, Lori has some figures for us too. When we.
And why don't we, that's great news, Dwayne. I think it's amazing news.
Excellent.
Why don't we wait till it's a little more concrete?
Right.
And then, through these little workshops, try and have a solid budget for the next board meeting to where we can go from there.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And you guys know me, I have an email from the feds committing those 10 on the 18th. It's just thereafter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We appreciate
Have
it.
that and the grant money coming in,
Mhm.
you're
Beautiful.
pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were we supposed to talk about tonight?
Lori.
Talking about Lori.
Okay.
We're gonna.
Talking to Lori, not about her. She's here. We can't talk about her.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what you wanted tonight, so I'll give you what I think, and then you can ask questions and tell me if you want.
Sure.
So I gave you some paperwork to take with you. I know that you wanted this stuff, but that's not what this meeting is for, so I'm just going to tell you what I gave you, and you can take it home and look at it. So this one sheet is just the outline of my office, who the supervisors are and the employees and what their job titles are. And then there's a little packet that looks like this that outlines the job duties of the staff. Some of it's a little more detailed than the other, and if you want more detail, you can certainly do that, but it gives you an idea of what my staff does.
Appreciate that, Lori.
And then I gave you this one with highlights on it. That's the highlighted portions are the revenues that I'm responsible for. So that's what I'll be talking about tonight. And I didn't copy my expenditures, my budget, because I think Tracy gave you the big packet. But if you want to know which line items I'll be talking about, I can tell you, you can jot it down and go through your packet.
Mhm.
You want those line items?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Because you just given us the numbers when you're ready. Yeah.
167,
167,
191,
91,
193, 15, 36, 241. And then I have two funds that I have a refund and it's 253.
253,
256, sorry, 256 and 263. Two funds.
Okay.
So, we always talk about cuts, and I'm trying to look at things a little differently than where we can cut, because I think we've cut everywhere we possibly can. And so I'm trying to think outside of the box and see where we can generate more revenue.
that's,
And if we can use existing funds, I think if all of the departments in the county can come together and have discussion about the funds that we have, what they could be used for, what the needs of the county are, maybe we can all come together and maybe like Jenny and I, the treasurer and I, both have funds that we could use to advance the Fetch GIS system in the county, which benefits 911, it benefits equalization, it benefits the Register of Deeds, and it benefits the treasurer's office. Well, equalization and 911 don't have any funds they can use, but Jenny and I did. So we all came together, discussed what the needs were, how the county could benefit from it. Jenny and I used our funds to pay for to further the GIS project, and that is going to generate more revenue. It's going to help 911. It won't generate revenue for them, but their police officers need that to get to emergencies quicker and more accurately. And that system will point to my Register of Deeds office where people can purchase copies and browse the documents for a fee. Same with Jenny's office. It'll point to hers BSNA system so they can pay to look at the taxes and that. And then equalization is going to use that. They're going to add to, hear about it maybe at the next meeting, they're going to add to their contracts with the townships an additional fee so their assessors can use the GIS system to assess the properties better. And the ones that don't have a contract with equalization, they can pay a fee to use the GIS system. So that was one instance where we used our fund to generate income for the county. It isn't coming, the bulk of it won't come back to my office or Jenny's. The bulk of it will come to the equalization, which goes into the general fund. So it helps everyone that way.
What kind of a fee would, go ahead.
I thought we talked the GIS system, there was not gonna be any charge back to the townships that used it. That was one of the sales pitches when we first started getting into it.
Well, it costs the county money every year to have it. And so we were charging back only enough to cover the cost that the county was going to cost the county each year. I believe it was $6,000 a year to have that and use it. So we're charging that back to the township. And townships don't have to use it. They don't have to pay for it and use it. If they want to use it, then, and it's a minimal amount. I believe it's in the $300 or $400 a year range. It's not a huge fee,
Just to cover the cost.
just to cover the cost. We're not looking to make a profit. It's just to cover the costs of the software, the program, and the maintenance. So that's kind of where I'm looking and where I'm focusing on is how to generate more money. I have, we used to not charge for the notary services in my office, which you just approved that at January, December.
$5 was it?
Yeah, $5 for each nurse. So we're gonna generate money there. We had a fee of $5, a $5 search fee at our Register of Deeds if you came in and wanted to look something up. We did not charge if you came in and wanted information about your own property. I changed that. I changed our fee to $6.95 with board approval because we have a program that charges $6.95 and I wanted it across the board. So we increased our fee from $5 to $6.95. And I now, if you come in and want information about your own property, we charge for that. We have the computers you can go in and use for free in my office, no charge. But if you want the staff to stand there and do your searching for you, we charge the $6.95. 9 times out of 10, probably 9.5 times out of 10, people would rather pay the $6.95 than to go back and do the searching themselves. We have the free option available if they want to use it. If not, if they want to use the staff, then they need to pay for it. And so that is generating more income. I implemented last year, before COVID, thank the Lord, the online service, the Register of Deeds. In January, we implemented that software. So we were able to keep the revenue coming in during COVID. Otherwise, we would have been shut down and a huge portion. You'll see what our revenues are here in a minute for our office. That would have not come in had I not implemented that new software. So that's wonderful. And in addition to that new software being online, there's a new program called Tapestry where it's a $6.95 charge to look at documents. People are nosy. They want to go in and see what their neighbor paid for their house. It's all public record. You can do that. So if they want to sit at home and do it online, there's a $6.95 fee to do that. Yes.
How long a time can they be on doing that? When you pay the $6.95?
It's per search. So it's not timed.
Okay.
We do have another program that is timed, and that's usually for vault searchers for like title companies that are charging.
Yeah.
So we have that, and that's timed. It's
All right.
$1 a minute.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. So let's see. I'm going to talk about the CPL fund a little bit, get off course here a little bit. The concealed pistol license fund. I have a fund that anytime anyone gets a concealed pistol license, a portion of that goes into this fund that can only be used for CPLs. I, as a new clerk register, was not acquainted with how I could use that fund. So in researching it, I found that I can use it for quite a few things. So I have worked up some numbers, and there it is. In addition to the reporting that I do to the state of Michigan, I've talked to the undersheriff, and I'm going to take the fingerprinting back from the sheriff's department. We're going to do the fingerprinting in my office instead of sending them over to the sheriff's department. We charge $15 regardless for the fingerprints, but this way I can use the CPL fund because I'm doing the fingerprints. It's taking my staff more time to do this. I can use more of the CPL fund to pay an employee than previously. So that's going to take a little bit more burden off from the general fund for a portion of an employee in my office. So I've narrowed it down. I'm charging the CPL fund for training hours. So my staff and myself go to conferences where there's trainings. So I'm able to charge not only the conference fee, but the time that my staff is at the conference to the CPL fund. So I was able to increase those hours, the hours for the fingerprinting throughout the year. The office hours, we keep track of how long it takes us to process a concealed pistol license. Also, we factor in the benefits of those employees, 30% of whatever that wage is their benefits. So we add that in. We're going to, I didn't know in the past that I could do this. I do now. I'm going to put back in the postage because that doesn't come out of my office individually, but the general fund pays for postage. We use almost $700 a year for postage, so we'll be able to put that back into the general fund for the concealed pistol licenses. So I did some figuring on that, and it's going to be just under half of the income that I get a year from the CPL fund will be able to be used for this person in my office.
Right.
And in addition to the employee, I'm using it to pay for trainings and travel expense to and from the trainings and for supplies, which I've been doing all along for the concealed pistol license. So I'm trying to use more of that than I have in the past for the, instead of using money out of the general fund for an employee. So that's one other thing I'm working on.
So,
Yes.
okay, so the CPL funds, do they come automatically or are those just the monies collected for people getting the license?
What do you mean, do they come automatically?
The CPL funds, do they come from the state government? Where's it?
No, that is only from people walking in. and
Okay.
getting their concealed pistol license.
Right.
And you've got about how much to get every year?
I was just gonna look, it's increasing each year.
So everybody
I'm
in
sure. it
Clear
is.
County is.
Yeah.
Last year in 2020, we, in my CPL fund alone, I took in $24,000.
Okay,
See,
So
and then you only
that's-
spend,
that can only be spent for CPL
Uh-huh.
stuff, so like
Right.
the things I
Right.
just talked about, so.
okay.
So that's wonderful, and I'm
That's
continually
excellent thinking, Lori.
trying to think of different ways to use that money. If a computer breaks down that we use, that we process CPLs on, I can purchase a computer out of that fund
Yeah.
to replace that computer. The fingerprint machine that I'm going to be purchasing, I'll use that money to purchase that. The machine we print the cards on, I purchased that.
Oh, that should help the sheriff's department as well, right?
It'll take a little pressure off
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
and it's more convenient, more than what it's doing for our office and the sheriff's office. It's more convenient for the constituents because they
Sure.
come in now and some of them leave work early to come and get their CPL. If we don't know they're coming, they don't always call first. Most of the time they don't call first. If they get here at 4 o'clock, because we don't close till 4:30.
Yeah.
Sheriff's Department stops doing fingerprints at 3:30.
Oh,
So then we have to send them away. They have to take more time off of work to come back and get their fingerprints later. So this way they'll come to our office and
Great.
be able to take care of everything all at once in our office. And it'll save time. Sheriff's Department has to send us an email after they do fingerprints.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Follow up on it. And so it'll eliminate that extra.
And you don't have to hire anybody extra to do this.
No.
Okay,
Doing it now, except for the fingerprints.
okay.
So we'll just add that right in. It was
Sure,
gonna
thanks.
Take an additional person.
really a very, very good idea.
So we're pretty excited to start that. And what else do I have on my list here? Scanning, you approved last year for me to scan some of the old books, and they just finished that project. That's going to eventually generate more revenue because people will be able to stay at home and search those books where they may not come in. Historical stuff. A lot of people want to look at historical and they'll pay for it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
you can
did.
go online, pay for that searching and search those historical books. And
What's the fee for that?
that is, it's going to be the same, the $6.95 per search or $1 a minute.
I think.
Yeah, based on which program they choose to go with. Now, while we were closed, we did lose revenue in our searching because those books were not scanned. If a company, we have a lot of oil, gas, and mineral rights searches that go on in our county, and they can't, it's way all the way back. So it's in the old books that we just had scanned. So all the time we've been closed, those people have not been able to come in and do their searching. So we've lost revenue for that. So hopefully this will increase and we'll get that money back once we get all that put in the computer. I have had plans since starting this new program that the new software I implemented in January of last year, but then COVID hit and I wasn't able to do any of this. So I'll just refresh the ones that already know and update the ones that don't. Some of my plans, I can take this with the new software, I can take a small printer and my laptop and connect to the county from, say, the senior center in Clare. I can look up for the seniors, I can see if they have a question, did I put my kids on my deed? I can look it up for them, print, if they want a copy, I can print the copy, charge them the copy fee for that. If they want, sorry, I don't know who it was. I can go to other places and like VFWs and different clubs and do reach out to mostly the elderly community that don't get out and get into the courthouse as often as they would like. And I can do these searches for them on site, print stuff, and hopefully generate more revenue, but also at the same time make it more convenient for the constituents that can't get into the county. This isn't anything that I did, but it's just something coming up. I have an employee retiring in December this year, January next year. And then that new employee will start at a lower wage. So that will save.
How much would that,
I didn't look.
okay,
It's
approximately?
going from the highest to the lowest wage. And I can't remember what that, maybe $6,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's coming up. All I have about that, I wanted to bring your attention to this packet. This is my revenues. This is new to me. Tracy always did my revenues and I didn't realize that I was supposed to be doing them until last year when we talked about it. So this is new to me, so bear with me. I went through my revenues and highlighted them in yellow.
Okay.
If there's a check mark next to them, then they are on track to where they should be. Now, not everyone knows this, but right now, this time of year, I should be right about 33% of my revenues. But every department in the courthouse doesn't work like that. Some of their revenues all come in the last quarter. Most of mine do not, but some of them do. Like my marriage licenses, the second one down, that's only at 21%, but I get the bulk of my marriage licenses in the summer. So that's why there's a check mark there, even though it's not at 33%. So.
And like juror compensation, probably because of COVID?
Yeah, juror compensation on the second page, I'm going to decrease that by 3,000. I may end up decreasing the full 5,000, but right now I'm only going to decrease that by 3,000 because we haven't had any jury trials.
Do you think you're going to be able to make that up in something else here to?
I believe the juror compensation, Tracy, is that an in and out? We pay out, but then we get it back. Kind of, is that how that works? I'm not real sure.
Yeah, you have an expenditure line that you pay out of for the
Yeah, so
jury.
we're not paying it out. and we're
Okay.
not getting it in.
Okay, so it's
kind of a wash.
all right.
But I am going, and I don't believe that expense is under my budget. That's under the circuit court budget. So I'm going to adjust that. Voter registration, we did bill for some voter registrations this year, but we just got notice from Bureau of Elections that stopped sending us voter registrations, but we call them the blue and white cards. And it's all going to be done online. So we won't be billing for that after this month. So we won't have that. So I'm going to reduce that line item by $100. And my clerk services, I'm going to increase that by 5,500. You can see I'm already at 43%. I should be right around 33%. So I'm about 10% higher than I should be right now. So that means I can increase that revenue a little bit.
That's good.
By $5,500. And that is partially because of the program, the Register of Deeds program Tapestry that I've implemented through Fiddler Technologies, that $6.95 search. that has brought in quite a little bit of money for us. So that was a good investment. The Register of Deed Services, I wrote maps next to it. That's down. I'm gonna reduce that by $450. That's down because we didn't have the people in the office doing their searching, buying the maps, the vault searchers. The real estate transfer tax, partway down on the next page, I'm gonna increase that by $25,650. You can see I'm already at 61.98%. I equate that to the booming housing market right now.
Yeah,
It is crazy out there.
that's wonderful.
Yes.
That's
So
great.
I'm going to increase it that much, and hope that the trend, and that isn't like the full amount that I could increase it. I'm being a little reserved because I don't want to overdo it.
Right.
And I'll look at it again in the next quarter and see if it needs to be adjusted again or not. But I think that's a safe increase on the revenues for the transfer tax that comes back to the county.
Abstract title searches goes right along with that.
Yes, it does. Yep.
15,000.
Sure does.
So
Yep,
good.
that's going up 15,000. I'm already at 128% and we're only a third of the way through the year. So I'm going to increase that by 15,000 right away. And again, I'll watch this. That isn't the maximum I could.
yeah.
Again,
Oh, you want to be
I'm a little
conservative.
conservative, and we'll watch it and make adjustments. On the next page, election reimbursement. I didn't budget any election reimbursement. I thought this money would have come back in prior to this fiscal year. It came in after the fiscal year, so I'm going to increase that by the amount that we got in, the $1,600. So that takes a look at my revenues and where we're making adjustments. I haven't made any adjustments on my expenditures at this time. I don't see anywhere that I can reduce a lot right now. I'll continue to look at those.
I think you cut quite a bit last.
I did.
Yeah.
You did.
And I like your thought that, let's look at increasing revenues. That's what we need to do with each department. And I'd like to see, their thoughts when we go through each department.
The hard part is every department doesn't bring in revenues,
Yeah,
but the ones that do, maybe we can.
exactly, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
And especially if you bring in 24,000 approximately every year for that CPL fund,
And we can use it to.
maybe get half someone's wages a year and pay for them out of that, but you still need money in case something breaks or whatever, obviously also.
Well, I'd like to do half, but I can't justify that.
Right.
You have to report to the state, so it has to balance.
Yeah.
As the CPLs increase, we can absolutely increase what we're taking out of the CPL fund and fully pay for that program, that service out of the CPL fund.
Definitely.
And Joy just let me know that I was looking at last year's concealed pistol licenses. We did 269 new licenses. And I believe 400 and some renewals. And she said in January alone, we did 125 new CPLs, January of this year. So hopefully is it because we were shut down for almost a month in December? But I hear a lot of people that are getting their CPLs now.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll just increase and that revenue will continue.
Well, I think you've really done your research, Lori, and I appreciate all of this.
Thank you. I'm trying
do.
very hard. Any questions on any of this or anything else?
I kind of find it fascinating.
It is. And I see Tracy furiously writing over there, just going at it.
If she wants me to do the budget adjustment, I'll do it, but I'm starting it out for her. And if she wants to continue with it, then this is just an example to show her how to do it.
Yeah, that was my next question because I don't know how to do the.
You probably should. You should know how to do it. Yeah. So
So I'm writing an example for you.
Thank you. Last year, we took in 269 new CPLs and 484 renewals. So there was 753
Yeah,
consumer licenses last year alone.
that's good.
Yeah,
Are most of these people that are getting the licenses, are they from Clare County?
they are all from Clare County.
Yeah, I think,
We only do.
yeah, I
Clare
think we
County.
can only do Clear County.
Everybody's back and eat. Okay.
I think it's gonna increase.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was shocked that we did 125 just last month.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely have to watch the CPL fund, and as those increase start bringing more over.
So did you do any totals on what the plus and minuses you have in that revenues?
Yes, it's $37,427.04.
Where is that at?
I didn't write it down there. I wrote it
Oh,
on
so how much is it? 30
$37,000.
$427.04.
plus?
Yes, that I'm going to be adding to the revenue. So
Okay,
I was pretty excited. about
Which means that we can reduce the prisoner line to increase hers.
right, yeah.
And the circuit court staff is still working hard on the collections program, which always benefits the county to get those fines, costs, and attorney fees.
That's probably gonna be an
back to us.
ongoing battle forever and ever, I would think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like Tracy said, we have to pay $150,000 a year into the indigent defense fund. And as long as my staff continues to stay on the defendants that owe that money for the attorney fees, then that comes right back in. So
Okay.
they're doing a great job. Stacy,
How much is in that line item? 800,000 in indigent defense fund?
yeah, it was close to $1 million.
Oh, you mean the cash that's in there? Roughly $1 million, close to $1 million.
What should be in there to, let's say we want to be safe? Obviously, you're putting $155,000 a year in and we're not using it all.
Well, think of it this way. Okay, so our portion is roughly $170,000, but because of some of the restitution costs and things that are coming back, it offsets it to about 155. So Gladwin County puts in 72 because there's the MIDC budget is for Clare and Gladwin counties. So everything runs through here for both counties. And the MIDC puts in their money, their portion, according to what we provide them to state, okay, this is how much we're going to need to operate the MIDC. Well, unfortunately, that hasn't been the case because of COVID. So there hasn't been a lot of that. So that money's just sitting in there.
Well, it must have
But
been for
even
years
before
though,
that,
because there's almost $1 million. That had
Correct.
to not just happen in a year.
right?
Just a
Yep.
point of correction, it's 1.8 million.
There you go.
Thank you, Jenny.
And that can't be touched supposedly for anything other than
Nope.
indigent defense.
Nope.
That's correct. I'm
But what
just
if we-
investing.
And this is not anything about arguing with anybody here, but my argument there is if we overpaid for services, then we should maybe be able to get a little bit refunded, I would think. But I don't know who and you would go to try and get some of that back.
Well, and the thing is that, okay, so let me explain a little bit how this
Would you?
works for Clare County, Clare and Gladwin counties and how they determine the portion that we have to pay. So when they first started doing the MIDC, they chose 2010, 11, and 12 for the years that they were going to take an average of how much the counties were paying at that point. And when they did that, those 3 years were the highest for Clare County overall.
Oh, okay.
So unfortunately, because they took the 3 highest years, we're paying that larger amount. And so I have asked them, and I've asked them several times, if they would, now that the MIDC has been in place, if they will recalculate what we're paying or what it looks like right now, because
Or don't pay a nickel till that balance is down to where they need money.
right. So And we keep getting put off as far as the calculations or however that works, but I just think it's ridiculous that,
When was the last time you contacted them?
I'm in contact with Karen Weekly, who oversees our MIDC. And, I think I talked to her about probably a month ago.
Could you draft a letter? So we've got something on the record?
Yep.
Okay.
He's a Glasgow County Commissioner now too. I didn't know that till last week.
Yeah, she's their board chair. Yeah, so, yeah, there's quite a bit of money in there and, but there's also requirements as it relates to MIDC attorneys
Yeah.
and the different, trainings they're required to meet certain trainings and things like that. So,
Draft a letter. And I think Jeff's got a point there.
okay.
No, when's our next workshop?
On today?
I don't know. I want to know when our next one is.
Well, we gotta pick a date. When do you want the next one? I did.
What other departments do we have yet to do? I
Several.
mean, they're the smaller,
Prosecutor's office,
smaller departments.
me,
How about we see the prosecutor's office?
Court.
next?
District Court.
yeah.
I mean, can we squeeze some of them in on our regular meetings? Their presentation, because basically it sounds like we're just hearing the status of the department, what they do, and
Which is good. I think this is wonderful.
because I think having too many of these meetings, I think it's a waste of taxpayer money.
I've heard a little grumbling too that they're too late.
Too late?
I'm just saying,
Too late in the day or too late in the?
too late in the day,
Okay.
too late in the day.
5:00?
Yeah, I know.
Ooh.
Trip over that thing.
Well,
We should duct tape it down.
I think
Yes.
maybe the prosecutor's office would be a very good one to hear,
yeah,
but, and I'm all for scheduling that next because I think we could get Michelle here.
Yeah.
And she's got a department. I think one of the, I don't understand where the money goes and how it works and the money trail
Michelle,
is the whole court system.
Michelle.
I think maybe we could have, if we could ask Michelle to make a presentation at our next board meeting and show that flow chart, she could do it, you know, you did yours and she'd have 15 minutes. Laura, you pretty much 15 minutes, didn't you? Yeah.
okay.
But
right.
then the next big workshop,
Michelle's on here.
Michelle, could you do that at the next board meeting?
Michelle?
What's the date for the next board meeting?
17th.
Valentine's Day, isn't it? I don't know. That's the 14th.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, my wife's not on Zoom.
That's February 17th.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a jury trial scheduled that day, but since they're all canceled, right now, that day looks clear.
Perfect.
Okay, so we'll plan on you at our
What
next. board-
time?
About 9:15 probably, you know, get the
Yeah.
pledge and everything, all that out of the way and public comment, and then you'll go first.
Okay,
Okay,
Thanks.
great. Thank you, Michelle.
you're
But
welcome.
now I think our next workshop should be planned around seeing what the courts do. And I don't even know, the sad part of it is, I don't know who to talk to. I would have to ask somebody, maybe you know, and is that gonna be 5 meetings? Is it gonna be 1 meeting?
Want to get a little chief judge.
So maybe we can have Tracy get a hold of the, yes, Stacy.
If I may, just so that you guys are aware, I'm not sure how much Judge Mink is going to be doing. So Judge Evans might be who you want to contact.
Yeah.
Judge Mink is working right now, but he's not working
Yeah.
full time.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm terrible with names. Who was the guy that kind of explained the whole friend of the court and all that? He would, what was his name? He's a retired that came back.
Police.
Shalice, yeah. He would be good to be in that presentation too.
Could you see if you could get him Daryl?
I think we'll have Tracy do that. We'll have Tracy do that, see if she can get them around, and then
Okay,
we'll schedule a meeting.
well,
We try and split the difference to make everybody happy. Is 4 o'clock all right? Could you be here at 4? Okay,
4 o'clock
we
on,
don't have a date yet because we don't know when they could
okay,
actually be here to meet, but I feel if we could do that. And there may not, and we may not get anywhere other than the fact to help us all understand how the whole money flow works, where's their budget items in.
Jeff, great idea.
Just by doing this, and you may have been thinking about it, but it's actually unlocked some more money to help pay for some of that just by what you did. And that's amazing. And your budget's probably not as much as the courts. Do they have something sitting there that they could use differently if they had time to think about it and everything else? And
Right.
I think that would be
Okay, so
very
Tracy,
nice.
Tracy will let us know what date
Yeah,
and it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay,
probably won't, but it'd be nice to find a pot of gold.
Now, the other thing is, district and circuit are separate, so Daryl Shalice would be who you'd want to talk to for circuit. Steve Warpel would be who you want to talk to.
Daryl and Steve, you're probably right.
okay,
And that, yeah, and that would be better than even talking to the judge because they're probably more up to everyday operations internally of what's going on there as far as money and employees and all that than the judges are. So
we'd want them to bring their budgets and it's,
for revenues, budgets, whatever.
yeah, like Lori did tonight.
We all got the big budget, but maybe bring their line item revenues and
Have them, yeah, do, she highlighted her revenues and I think if they could do that, similar to what Lori did, that would be great.
and I got one more question for Lori.
Sure. I have one more point also.
And that's not fair. I can.
You can have a last.
No, I'm not teasing. The amount of employees you have is, you think, bare bones on what you need to operate.
I do, and that wasn't the last point I was gonna make. Just so everyone looks at my office and says, oh, it's the biggest office, you have the most employees. I have 3 offices for the price of 1. You paid me 1 salary to do 3 jobs.
Yeah,
The abstractor, which is a separate position in almost every other county, register of deeds and clerk. So there are actually 3 offices in 1
Yeah.
with my 9 employees.
yeah,
And I have 8 budgets along with those 3 offices. Just so you know, it's not just 1 office with 9 employees. It is 3 offices. And I'm fortunate because all 3 of those offices generate revenue.
and that's good, yeah.
A lot of the offices don't generate any revenue.
When I was here last, you were cross-training everybody to,
Right,
I'm trying, indeed, register of deeds and vital records can
Our
be.
board
charged
meeting's the only one that's there.
Elections and circuit court can't.
okay.
It's our next board meeting.
Maybe I'm remembering you were like cross-training people
Don't
to
have-
courts.
4 to 5.
Are you doing that?
well, Lori's been helping out over.
Yeah, I'm trying to help with courts as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, courts is really hard to train on.
okay.
If you look at the sheet where she explains courts,
Mhm.
it's like, I don't know, 53 different documents and each document has to be processed differently. There's a
Fun.
different procedure.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really difficult to cross train
okay,
in that, but in the areas that we can, we absolutely do.
okay.
We didn't appoint anybody to the Mid-Michigan Health Network Substance Use Disorder Regional Oversight Policy Advisory Board of Directors. Fiscal year 2021. Anybody interested?
When do they meet? Later.
Once in February, once in April, once in June, and once in August.
What time?
And there's Zoom meetings.
4
All
to
of them?
5:30 Zoom.
Okay, but they're in Lansing, right?
Yes, but I think as of now, they're all Zoom.
Yeah, they're all Zoom
Have they
meetings.
always been Zoom or just?
No,
Okay, because I remember Leonard.
Yeah.
supposed to go down there.
and I used to go to them, but they switched them from, it was like Gaylord or Grayling.
That's the other group.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they switched it to this
Okay.
Mid-State Health Network.
Okay, if there's Zoom meetings, when are they?
You want to just take the next one? I'll give you the sheet.
Sure. If it doesn't, let me look at it and I'll see if it,
It's the day of our next board meeting, but it's not till 4 in the afternoon.
the 4th.
Statement, if you need this as
Okay, let me check.
Vicky, I don't know, I think you were gone, but you know.
She's writing it out for me.
Oh, thank you, bud. Can you get email them and see where they're at? I mean, next week sometime and then throw it in front of the whole board so they can yay or nay when we reschedule or not, but send it out in an email
Okay, so we want to schedule something for next week.
if possible.
4 o'clock and work out a date that's convenient with them too.
Okay,
Yep,
Workshop.
I think I got
it
everything.
may not work next week.
You know what date you're gonna schedule, Trace?
No.
no, I
we
gotta get a hold of Steve and Daryl.
See what they're doing.
Okay. But this is for the whole court system, right?
Yep,
Okay, I think I got everything. Maybe even Judge Kraus.
close. Yeah, because Daryl does circuit and probate, so. But I will get with them and see how they want to handle that.
And Lori, if you talk to them, tell them, really liked your presentation with
Sure.
how you did it, if that's how
Okay.
they'd like to put it together.
Maybe they can come up with some ways to.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because are they doing a lot down there right now?
Oh, yeah, we have full docket.
Yeah,
We have almost every single day of the week.
Yeah,
Good.
Occasionally on a Friday, we don't have
A
court,
lot of Zoom, a lot of,
all Zoom.
good.
it's all Zoom right now.
It's gonna be a pain.
Running full steam ahead.
Good. Okay,
Boy, you're a popular person.
Was that mine?
Yeah, it was yours.
that was his.
Oh.
Don't rat me out. Blame it on Sandy.
Okay,
Had a little.
okay, I was saying.
Yeah, I, thank you very much, Lori. And good job. That,
Yeah, very good.
nice to see, refreshing. And I agree with Bronwyn. I like your,
Yeah,
let's try and generate more revenue.
yeah, exactly.
That's a good thing.
We accomplished a lot today. I really feel good about it.
So we'll let everybody know when we can arrange another one of these. As for now, the next one we have scheduled will be the morning of the board meeting.
Yeah, Michelle.
Yep.
But we have no budget workshops at this time.
It'll be next week.
Well, it might not be whenever the people from the courts can meet. We can't speak for them right now. But whenever that is, and we'll send it out.
Second,
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're done.
Job.
Good job. Good job.
My ending.
What's that?
Sam, tell.
6 seconds.
Should have been here.
We got a township meeting.